It is 7 o'clock. Hope you're having a good one here. And let's start this morning with a live look outside. I promise that camera is working. It's just kind of, clouded in here. That's our tower cam over the Galleria area. Once the sun rises, you're going to see those clouds, but less rain today. We'll check in with Addison Green here in just a few minutes. Good morning, everybody. I'm Russ Lewis in for Lauren Tallarico. Let's get right to the latest on the COVID-19 crisis this morning. Here are the three things to know right now. Number one, the global death toll is nearing 65,000 now as the U.S. prepares for the peak in this outbreak. There are now more than 1.2 million infections worldwide, with more than 300,000 of those right here in the U.S. Number two, Harris County still leads the state of Texas in cases. The greater Houston area now has more than 2,000 confirmed infections. That's more than double the number from 1 week ago. We want to remind you, though, this increase was expected as testing becomes more available. You get more confirmed cases. And number three, the first reported COVID-19 death in Galveston County, a woman in her 80s with other health problems. Meanwhile, we're watching nursing homes. A person was just diagnosed in an assisted living facility in southeast Harris County. We'll have more on that coming up here in just a moment. Right now, let's go over to Addison, though. And Addison, I'm looking for some positivity on this Sunday morning. How about the fact that we're warming up a little bit today?
There we go, Russ. That's something to look forward to, with our temperatures getting better than how they were yesterday, where we didn't even get into the low 60s during those afternoon hours. We're forecasted to see these numbers climb around lunchtime to around 68 degrees, and then later in the afternoon hours into the low to mid 70s. Still won't be where we should be this time of year, around 78 degrees, but nonetheless, we're getting there, just taking baby steps. Now, there are scattered clouds pushing on in and more overcast skies around for much of the region, with more of a break in the cloud deck the closer you get towards Louisiana. But going throughout your planner for the day today, we'll keep the overcast skies and the fog around during the morning hours. By midday, still rather cloudy with isolated pockets of drizzle possible. And then for the afternoon hours, you may see a few rays of light trying to shine on down through some thin clouds. But temperature-wise, we're going to be trending on the mild side. And unfortunately, Russ, keeping the clouds around more times than not.
Okay, thank you, Addison, very much. We'll take the warmer weather. It's 3 minutes after now. Are you waking up to worship? Because it is Palm Sunday, and while many are worshiping online, Harris County just changed its guidelines on religious gatherings. Reporter Anayeli Ruiz explains.
Palm Sunday is the last Sunday of Lent, one weekend before Easter Sunday, and many Christians will have no choice but to participate in services online. County Judge Linda Hidalgo amended the stay-at-home work-safe order to allow small gatherings for religious services. Churches were not classified as essential businesses in the county's original stay-at-home order. But this change is in response to Governor Greg Abbott's executive order, allowing religious gatherings as long as they abide by the CDC guidelines. The guidelines must limit the services to no more than 10 people. They must practice social distancing, good hygiene. They also encourage faith leaders to provide religious worship services online by video and teleconference. And President Trump even said this Sunday he'll be watching a service online.
But Easter Sunday, Palm Sunday, I'm going to be watching tomorrow. Live from Riverside, California.
The stay-at-home order runs through April 30th. If you don't comply, you could face a $1,000 fine and up to 180 days in jail. Anayeli Ruiz for H-Town Rush.
At a Texas City nursing home, family members who have loved ones there say they still have not received a call about a coronavirus outbreak that's infected more than 80 people in that facility. The Galveston County Health District reports the first positive case came last Saturday and it reached 13 by Thursday. That's when they tested 150 residents and employees. We spoke with a woman who says her mother lives at the resort, that's the name of the place, and she is now in the ICU.
I've tried calling them twice. They won't answer. No one's tried to reach out to me. I'm irate with them. I'm furious.
KHOU called the resort. Staff initially said they had no comment. When we asked why people, though, have not been notified, the person we talked to on the phone said that they had called those family members personally. We'll have more on this story coming up later this morning here at 7:30. President Trump preparing the country as we inch toward the peak of the pandemic here in the States. According to the CDC, more than 8,000 Americans have died so far from coronavirus. The president's task force expects that death toll to reach at least 100,000.
Every decision that we're making is made to save lives. It's really our sole consideration. We want to save lives. We want as few lives lost as possible.
The president says he's sending 1,000 medical military personnel to New York City, which is the current epicenter of this outbreak. Houston's mayor remains optimistic in the fight against the virus. Yesterday, he toured the Houston Food Bank wearing a mask and encouraging everybody to continue social distancing.
If you go out to the grocery stores, to the parks, wherever you may be going, just be mindful of engaging in social distancing, because that is what, in the end, is what's going to help to bring us out of this situation and for us to get back to some normal life as quickly as possible.
When we asked about the mask he's wearing, Mayor Turner says he has no symptoms. He's just following the latest guidelines from the CDC. Business leaders in Houston's Asia Town are answering Mayor Turner's call for PPE donations. They said this week that they're donating 10,000 masks for healthcare workers.
We have experienced challenges time and again, but this moment is reflective of who we are as a community: strong, resilient, and united.
Those masks will go to the nurses and the doctors on the front lines at local hospitals. All right, 7 minutes after 7 on your Sunday morning. Let's talk about those clouds and the chance for rain on this Sunday. Addison, what are you seeing?
It's a small chance, Russ, and it's going to be a little bit better than how it was yesterday, but unfortunately, we'll be seeing the showers leave us, but we'll be dealing with the clouds hanging around, like you can certainly see as we try to look from our tower camera. Can't quite see too far in the distance. We have temperatures running up in the upper 50s, 58 degrees most recently reported, with a light northerly breeze coming on down. And just to show you another vantage point outside, not everyone is dealing with the patchy fog and the poor visibility. There's a sunrise in the distance. As we're looking up across the McKeanwell Boardwalk area, sunrise was at 7:05, where we do see the visibility running rather on the higher end of things towards Galveston, but down across Sugar Land, Bush, for instance, and up towards Brenham for areas like that way, north and west of the city, that visibility is running very low. So if you do happen to have to need to step out earlier this morning, make sure you do take it easy on the roadways. We have temperatures running generally in the upper 50s to the mid 60s, and for the most part, we're seeing those numbers on par with where they were 24 hours ago by maybe several degrees, give or take. We have this cold front just kind of sitting just offshore, and meanwhile, we still have an onshore flow coming on in with a still cool northerly breeze coming on down. So as a result, we're still stuck with this pattern like we had yesterday, with the clouds hanging around more times than not, but at least the shower potential, now that the front has passed, is going to diminish for the day today. It's roughly about a 20% chance. For tomorrow, Monday, 40% chance for seeing a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon hours. Temperatures will be warmer, hitting 80 degrees. And on Tuesday, we continue the warm up, getting into the mid 80s with an isolated chance of a passing storm in the afternoon hours.
Boy, look at that, Addison, thanks. A warning for the White House about how coronavirus can spread, but is it true? That is the question. Reporter Marcelino Benito is connecting the dots.
Startling reports now claim that coronavirus is airborne, meaning it could spread just by breathing or talking, but the experts can't agree. Let's connect the dots. First up, where these reports are coming from. CNN says a chairman of a committee with the National Academy of Sciences told the White House Wednesday night that multiple studies point to COVID-19 being aerosolized, which means infected people could spread the virus by talking and breathing, not just by coughing and sneezing. That news caused officials to start rethinking the recommendations on the general public wearing face coverings. But not everyone agrees with these findings. The World Health Organization has said there is not sufficient evidence to suggest the virus is airborne. They still believe it is primarily spread through tiny droplets that are coughed or sneezed out. The people who study airborne respiratory illnesses say that getting solid information could take years, and right now it is better to err on the side of caution. Connecting the dots, I'm Marcelino Benito for H-Town Rush.